What was the promise of 40 acres and a mule? What exactly was the promise of 40 acres and a mule? This phrase has become a symbol of hope and disappointment for many African Americans after the Civil War. The origins of this promise date back to January 1865. During this time, Union General William Tecumseh Sherman met with black community leaders in Savannah, Georgia. They discussed how land ownership could help newly freed African Americans achieve economic independence. This meeting led to Sherman's Special Field Orders No. 15, issued on January 16, 1865. The order set aside approximately 400,000 acres of confiscated land along the southern coast. The plan was to redistribute this land in parcels of up to 40 acres to freed families. The idea was that with land, these families could cultivate crops and support themselves. The mention of a mule came later, as the army would lend mules to help with farming. This policy was quite radical for its time. It was the first major attempt by the federal government to provide reparations to former slaves. It aimed to address the long-standing issues of slavery and racial inequality. However, it was not a formal guarantee for all freed people. The order was limited in scope and geography, making it more of a wartime measure than a permanent solution. After President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, the promise quickly unraveled. His successor, Andrew Johnson, reversed many Reconstruction policies. Much of the land that had been promised was returned to its former white owners. This left many freed people feeling betrayed and hopeless. Despite these setbacks, the desire for land ownership remained strong. By 1900, about 1/4 of black farmers in the South owned land. However, most of them own much less than the 40 acres that had been promised. Many acquired their land through private purchases rather than government redistribution. Owning land was seen as a key to freedom and economic self-sufficiency. The federal government largely abandoned its efforts to redistribute land. The promise of 40 acres and a mule stands as a reminder of the broken promises and ongoing struggles for black land ownership in the post-war South. It reflects a moment when the government briefly considered reparations but ultimately failed to deliver.